Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy Bad Dog, and I'm excited, man. We did this July 1st. It was this same crew. I got three of the best content creators for their respective teams on the channel tonight. Law Nation representing the Cowboys. Lord Brunson representing the Philadelphia Eagles. And Louie T representing the Washington football team. Now, I know a lot of the guys in the chat probably know you guys, but just in case they don't, you got a lot more viewers maybe since the last time. I'll let you guys plug your channel a little bit, talk about what you do, and, let them know where to find you. Law Nation, you go first. You're my immediate left, I guess.
No worries, man. LAW Nation, man. You guys can follow me on multiple platforms at Law Nation, especially on Instagram and Facebook. And primarily, we talk Cowboys, but we can dib and dab on all teams over here. But I really appreciate you for allowing me on your platform, Bad Dog.
Anytime. You guys always have an open invitation. LB, where can they find you? What do you do?
All you got to do is type in Lord Brunson. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on IG. And primarily what I do is I talk, Eagles football. Kind of getting into a little bit of the Sixers because I like basketball as well. But most likely it's Eagles 24/7 over here, man. And thank you, Bad Dog, for the invite.
Man, again, man, you don't need to thank me. I thank you guys for taking time out of your day to come on over here and do this with me. Louie T, what's up, man? Where can they find you? What do you do?
What's going on, Big Bad Dog? I really appreciate you having me on the program, allowing me to bless the platform. First and foremost, before I even try to plug anything, I got to say, first of all, I feel slighted and disrespected because you got to come to the teams in the first place spot first before you start talking to Dallas and you start talking to Philadelphia. You need to come to me first, okay?
I went from the bottom to the top, Louie.
I feel a little disrespected in that regard. And I honestly want to say that I should just kind of take a step back, and you could let Law, you can let Lord Brunson kind of either cry or they could explain whatever one you choose. It's not up to me, because Bad Dog and myself, we took a step back and we said, hey, look, we young, we're dumb, we got first year head coaches, we don't know what's going on. We don't let y'all the big dogs, y'all the big dogs, okay, y'all been here, done that, got the talent, you got Carson Wentz, you got Dak, y'all got the quarterbacks, y'all go ahead, have fun, we'll see y'all in 21. What are we doing here, guys?
I actually want to give you your flowers right now because this it's not going to, it doesn't happen a lot for you, so I understand why you feel good.
Yeah,
it's not happening a lot for you.
It's fine.
Hey, all I can say is before you say anything else, man, when my dog come back, you already know Dak come back. We gonna be like, this is Sparta. Y'all better be ready.
Let me get these real quick. Let me just get these. Jason Dale, thanks for super chat. Brilly said, what up, Bad Dog? Roll Tide. John Dunham, what's up? Brilly, here's a joke. Our crappy division. That is true. Riding Giants, thank you for super chat. Brilly says, 3 representatives of the top 10 picks of the draft. And Bad Dog represented future 32nd pick. Yeah, not this year. Maybe next year. Yeah, I just wanted to I didn't mean to interrupt you there, Louie T, but you'll have plenty of time to twist a knife, if you will. I got a couple of questions. Obviously, that's what I like to do. I have some questions. The first question is very easy. I just wanted to ask you, gentlemen, who's in first place in this division?
Hey, ask him again, man. Ask him again.
Who's in first place in this division?
Love it.
It feels good, huh?
It gotta feel good.
Hey,
it gotta feel good.
Tony has done it again. It feels good.
This is what I want to know, though.
Do all of that though until we win the division.
This is what I want to know. If it, first everybody was calling it the NFC least. Now when we not in first, you don't hear that as much no more. So I'm glad some respect is back in the division since we ain't in first place. I guess that's what had to happen. But congratulations to the Redskins. We will see y'all again, and I think it's gonna come down to that.
Yeah.
Wow. It may come down to that. I think it's less about not being in first, and I think it's more about just the division as a whole playing better. You had Dallas go to Minnesota. To me, that's been the biggest win in the entire division all year. We still haven't, as a collective group, we haven't beaten one team with a winning record yet. So it's crazy to think that beating Minnesota on the road is the biggest win of the season for anybody in the division. But it is because Minnesota was hot. Nobody thought Dallas was going to go in there and win, and they did. And so when you look at Dallas in the way that they're playing, when you look at the way that the Giants are playing now, they're surging. And you look at the way we're playing, two winners of 2 straight. And then, of course, the Thanksgiving win, the division just looks different. Teams are playing better now. So I think
I agree.
a little bit more respect being offered up because of the way they've seen these teams kind of start to play a little bit better football down the stretch.
Well, Louie, do you think with this is definitely possible with the Giants and the Washington football team? We have first-year head coaches. Maybe it just took some time for our guys to get acclimated, seeing as there was no preseason games, no mini camps, no OTAs. So maybe that's a possibility why we're starting to surge a little bit, starting to play a little bit better, starting to get acclimated to the systems that the coaches run here.
Absolutely. Yeah. I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, we knew that was going to be kind of built in, but I think everyone said, look, everyone's dealing with no offseason. Yeah, you had a new head coach, but there are, 7, 8 other teams with new head coaches. Like, no one wanted to hear that excuse. We were just young. You were young. We were a young team. That was the excuse that I was rolling with. And honestly speaking, if Dallas and Philadelphia did what they were supposed to do, we wouldn't be having this conversation because
we wouldn't be.
4-7 wouldn't be good enough for first.
And let me ask all three of y'all this then. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I was wrong on my coach, man. I just don't see. I want to ask you guys from the outside looking in, Mike McCarthy. What do y'all see out of him?
Actually, it's funny you went with that because that is one of the questions on my list. I was going to ask you what you thought about your coaching job. Well, LB, I'll let you. Yeah,
from the outside looking in, it looks like Mike McCarthy is just trying to do too much. From the outside looking in, Mike McCarthy and Doug Peterson look like identical twins, actually. From the outside looking in, Mike McCarthy has some very questionable 4th down situations, the same as Doug Peterson, and some of those things cost the Cowboys some games that they should have won, in my opinion. I think Mike McCarthy is trying to find his way, and I think he's doing too much, basically.
Louie, what do you think?
2.5 months ago, I sat on this same show with all 4 of us here, and I looked you in your eyes, Law, and I said, you got a fraud as a coach. And you were excited. And I said, look, I know you're excited because it can't get any worse than Redhead Jesus. I said, you're wrong. And you're going to find out that it was all Aaron Rodgers. It wasn't Mike McCarthy. And, I was listening to an interesting podcast, and David Bakhtiari, the left tackle of the Packers, said that it took him a while to buy in to the system that they have now in Green Bay. With Matt LaFleur, because it's heavy run, play action fake, and you got to carry out that fake. You got to sell run in order to give the illusion that you're trying to run so that they can have the time to pass protect. And he said he couldn't bring himself to do it because he would give up too many pressures because the pass and the run game didn't marry one another. So the play action fake didn't make sense and didn't work in Green Bay for years under Mike McCarthy. It's just little things like that. But I said, this guy is a chump. And when he gets to Dallas, it's going to magnify because there is no Aaron Rodgers. And what are we seeing? We're seeing a guy that's in over. First of all, Mike Nolan is a clown. Don't know why he thought it was a good idea to hire him. So you just made so many mistakes across the board. You got a great special teams coordinator, but when your coach isn't smart enough to tell him no,
right,
you get yourself into trouble.
Yeah. So you walked away from that victory against my Cowboys on Thanksgiving. I know you love the food because the food tastes good when y'all win or what have you. You walked away feeling comfortable with that, knowing that you got to face against us, 3 and 4 times maybe in the next years or what have you, because of the way Jerry Jones, he would not give up on his mistakes, and he's going to keep Mike McCarthy as long as he can.
Yes, I'm absolutely in love with this. Just like in Washington, we say, protect Dave Gettleman at all costs. Protect with all your might. Protect him because we know he's the key to making sure that we don't get swept by y'all for the next 3, 4, 5 years, however long he's there. Did you hear what Jerry had to say? It's amazing to me how these organizations that are dysfunctional remain, dysfunctional. Did you hear Jerry equate the Denver Broncos situation with their quarterback situation, having to start Kendall Hinton to having Ben DiNucci in the game? How can you even fix your lips to say that about your 7th round draft pick who led his team, James Madison, to the championship game last season?
He doesn't know what he's doing. Jerry Jones has never known what he's doing.
It happens.
I can't fathom. You guys, our owner is a mess, but it's good to know that because misery loves company. Y'all are right there.
All of our owners are a mess.
I don't know. I gotta disagree. I don't think Louie is a mess now. I can't say that about Louie right now, but Jerry definitely take the cake, man. Jerry's different.
Let me get these real quick, and I just want to talk about McCarthy real quick. Lax, thanks for super chat. Really says Mike McCarthy be his whole coaching career of Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers used to pretend the radio was out in his helmet so he could ignore McCarthy. Zach Phillips, thank you for the super chat. He says Eagles could have won against the Seahawks if they had better quarterback play. I'm just saying I'm not scared of the Seahawks. Let's go Big Blue. Well, that's not going to be easy. 69 Lucky, thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to the Dog Pound. 69 Lucky. Where my Dog Pound members at? Welcome him into the Dog Pound. Amid Belford, thank you for super chat. Says Mike McCarthy's a lost. Dougie P just quit coaching the Eagles. Wentz is not his guy. Let's go G-Men. There was one more there. Says, I got hands. LB is best reporting on Carson Wentz excuses.
Yeah, it would seem like that. It would seem like that.
I'm going to say this about Mike McCarthy. And I don't know if I said this back when we did this the last time, but I'm pretty much was in agreement with Louie T that I thought Mike McCarthy was overrated. I thought that, that they only won one championship with probably the best quarterback in the league for years. And I always thought Aaron Rodgers called a lot of the game himself. So I didn't know how well he was going to do with Dallas. As good as Dak Prescott had been this year, he's not Aaron Rodgers. There are no Aaron Rodgers. So I don't know. I mean, he was the most experienced head coach, but I think that, sometimes those retreads just don't have the same success with the second team as they do with the initial team. So I didn't like the hire for you guys, but what do I know? I'm just a guy on YouTube. Brendan, thank you for the super chat, man. Appreciate it. Billy says, Washington Giants have bright futures. Hi, Louie.
Hey, what's up?
All right. I want to ask you guys this question. Louie, I'm going to start with you because I don't want to disrespect you anymore since you're at the top of the division with yours truly. Oh, boy, I want this so bad.
Oh, my God, it feels good.
Place. We're like a half game up, but it feels good anyway. I don't care. Bill Barnard, welcome to the Dog Pound. Welcome to him into the Dog Pound. Bill Barnard, thank you for becoming a member. Emperor Meach, thank you for the super chat. Brilly. So shout out to my boy Louie T. Louie talks some sense to these Giants fans about Gettleman and Jones to a lesser extent. They've lost their minds, such as Chris. Not you, bad. Yeah, I'm very unbiased, but I think my heart's getting the best of me now because we're actually playing pretty well. All right, this is what I want to ask you guys. Louie, we'll start with you. I'm going to ask you guys what the biggest disappointment has been for your team this year and what the biggest surprise has been for your team this year. So, Louie, we'll start with you. Biggest disappointment so far for Washington football team and the biggest surprise for your team so far?
I think those are pretty easy for us as Washington fans. The biggest disappointment is Dwayne Haskins and how that situation unfolded. You hoped that if nothing else came out of this season, we had a franchise quarterback and that we had a guy that we could run with for the next decade, and that problem was solved and we can start trying to build around him. But we've got more questions than answers at the quarterback position. So to me, without a doubt, it's quarterback for us and Dwayne Haskins and how that situation unfolded. As far as the surprises, the division. I sat here 2.5 months ago and said, hey, look, we're conceding the season. We're a young team. We got a first-year head coach. That was before we found out Ron Rivera had cancer. Like, we didn't know all the stuff that this team was going to have to go through. And yet, here we sit at 4-7, 12 weeks into the season, heading into week 13, and we got a piece of first place. I couldn't have imagined that would be the case. And so that's without a doubt the biggest surprise. It's a gift and a curse because when you're a young team and you're trying to figure some things out, the magnifying, the scope, that magnifying glass isn't supposed to be on you. Everything you do isn't supposed to be amplified, but because we're young and trying to learn how to win with a division on the line, everything becomes that much greater. And I think sometimes it's great that we're playing meaningful football in December, which is what I ask for every year. But it's also a curse because you got young guys out here that, you're not getting a chance to see. In the case of Dwayne, if the Cowboys were, 8-3 right now, the Eagles were 7-4, Dwayne would probably be playing right now, So, it's things like that impact the decision-making of the coaches because this division is up for grabs.
Oh, good. Great points. Definitely. Law, what do you think? What's been the biggest disappointment for you for the Cowboys and the biggest surprise?
Well, the coaching staff is the biggest disappointment. You know, trying to build a plane while it's in the air with the defense, especially with Mike Nolan, buying into the philosophy of changing the 4-3 to 3-4 or hybrid style of defense, historically being bad. On top of that, the injury with Dak Prescott and not making the necessary adjustments, knowing that La'el Collins had a bad hip before the season started and not picking up a phone and calling anybody saying, okay, I need a right tackle. And then you trusted an undrafted rookie right tackle at that pivotal position to play on that side of the field, and trusting Jerry Jones coming out saying that the offensive line will be the strength of this team. Trusting Tyron Smith, knowing that he's not going to play 16 weeks, for him to be that person and not making necessary adjustments for that. And now when the injuries come around, we come up with the bevies of excuses. I'm not an excuse type of guy. So that is one of the most disappointing part of this year, knowing that if Dak Prescott was healthy, he would be a walk-in, knowing that everybody would be looking at it like, yeah, he came to his senses. He is the best quarterback in the NFC East. But now that's questioning going to be like, do you pay him 40? Do you pay him $50 million next year? Whatever it may be. And the question is, with the Joneses, you can't trust them. They always going to sell it up. So we already know that they probably be secretly tanking for Trevor Lawrence or for Justin Fields or for Zach Wilson. So it's one of those things. But the biggest disappointment on the defensive side as an individual guy is a guy named Xavier Woods for me. And that's all I have to say about that.
Biggest surprise? You have a biggest surprise?
Oh, surprise? Jeez. We're at the bottom of the division, and everybody is still at arm reach of getting to the top.
True.
Who knows? Watch. I'm going to say it now live like 95. We're going to beat the doggone Ravens, and everybody going to be like, yeah, see, Cowboys, see, they back into the mix of the things. Watch.
Yeah, Ravens are looking beatable right now. They're definitely not what they were at the beginning of the year. LB, biggest disappointment for the Eagles and the biggest surprise for the Eagles?
The biggest disappointment for me is Carson Wentz, man. You know, I had really high hopes for Carson Wentz going into this season. It's a lot of negative things you could say about Carson right now, from the decision making to the reads that he's making. He's missing wide open guys. I thought Carson Wentz was definitely going to separate himself within the division and within the NFC. I thought Carson Wentz was a top 5 guy going into this season, but something seems to be missing from his game. Something seems to be missing, from his mental. I can't quite put my finger on it. And my surprise is also a disappointment as well. I have it's just bad for us right now. My biggest surprise is just is the regression in the play calling for the offense. I mean, we have probably the worst offense in the NFL right now. When you got a guy that you thought was a top 5 guy and your offense is performing this poorly, it got to be a surprise to you. So that's definitely a surprise for me. And just trying to find our identity, man. I thought that with the seasoned coaches and Super Bowl winning coaches and defensive coordinators, that we would know who we are as a football team. I mean, the numbers and the analytics, they say who we are, but the coaches are trying to do something else. For instance, the Philadelphia Eagles are, I think, 8th in pass attempts, but we're 32 in passing yards. I mean, we're not a passing team, so why are we throwing the ball that much? Meanwhile, we're, I think it was 23rd in rush attempts, but 13th in rushing yards. The run is working. We just ain't doing it. So, I mean, they don't know who they are, and it's just rubbing off onto the quarterback. It's just a disaster. So my disappointment is Carson Wentz, and my surprise is also a disappointment. It will have to be the play calling.
Makes sense. Let me get a couple of these. Johnny Laterno, my man, what's going on? Big Eagles fan there. He says, thanks for the super chat. He says, bad dog, you're the best, and the rest of the roundtable by default. The Giants have an opportunity. Eagles will be back next year. Tell them, LB. And there was one more. Marvin, thank you for the super chat. He says, do you know Durgan Marvin Gunky Muckster Crinkle Crockett? Can't say I know that person. Can't say no. For me, biggest disappointment, I think it's been Daniel Jones. I expected Daniel Jones, and when I came on here, I was saying he was the second best quarterback in the division. He might be now, but not because it's by default. 8 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. I know that he was learning a new system, but I thought that he would be better. I thought that he would have got the bad decision-making out of his, as a rookie season. He makes a lot of bad decisions. He's the first-read quarterback. He was doing a lot of things wrong, trying to do too much, still fumbling the ball, throwing a lot of bad passes, and just missing wide-open receivers. We've seen that in the Tampa Bay game when I was kind of done with him. At that point, I felt like, this guy can't do it. There was wide open receivers streaking down the field. He missed Ingram. He missed Shepard. He missed Shepard. Yeah, I missed Shepard. He missed Slayton on the first interception. And I'm sitting there going, what is this guy doing? How come he's not learning? Why is he not progressing? All I wanted to see was progression, and I'm seeing regression. So he started to play better. Unfortunately, he got injured at the worst time. But, for me, his poor play at the beginning of the season was definitely disappointing because I had very high hopes for him, and he just hasn't gotten there yet. At least he is improving now, which makes me feel a little bit better going into the future. And I think the biggest surprise for me is our defense. We have a top 10 defense here in New York. I didn't see that coming. There's a lot of young guys. And again, it's new coaching staff. And I thought the offense would be ahead of the defense. And boy, was I wrong. Patrick Graham has been able to just scheme up a fantastic defense. Still have blown coverages. We still have these drives where we just let down and let teams score in like 2 minutes. But other than that, I mean, this defense has been ultra surprising. And this is without Xavier McKinney, who, was a steal, in my opinion, in the second round. So we'll see what he does as far as being incorporated in the game plan. But I think the Giants' defense, to me, has been a huge surprise and how consistent, how good they've been. So, those are my.
Yeah, I like Blake Martinez over there, too, man.
Yeah, he's played really well.
That's a start, man.
With Patrick Graham, and he's played a lot better. I mean, when Graham was the linebackers coach in Green Bay, he was good. So, it's a good thing.
Hey, Bad Dog, what did I tell you about Joe Judge, though? Before the season started, I said, I like this Joe Judge fella. Did I not tell you that?
Yeah.
I said, look,
what y'all like about him, though? He got 4 wins.
He's got 4 wins. He's a young coach. What did you think the Giants was going to do before the season started, man? You got 3 wins. Worry about your
We're in the same place, though. We're all in the same place.
You supposed to be ahead of everybody else. You got the same coaching staff. It doesn't matter. You got the same coaching staff. You had. You need an off season. You were supposed to be ahead of everybody else. Joe Judge inherited a young team. He told Golden Tate, keep your ass at home. And you know what they did? They won the goddamn game. I like your coach. He's on to something. And as I told you before the season started, I don't know what it is, except for the fact that by osmosis, he was with Urban Meyer, or not Urban Meyer, excuse me, he was with Saban, and he was with Bill Belichick. And there's something there. And you're seeing it in New York. And you see it rubbing off on the players. There's a discipline there with this team. There's something there that I think that this guy is going to be the future in New York.
How much do Jason Garrett got a hand in that play there?
I was here to say, you know what you're seeing? You know why Giants fans are really liking Joe Judge? And even at the beginning of the year, even though we were 1-7, nobody was really ripping him. You're seeing a fight from this team. Mm-hmm. Fights. This team competes against the better teams. We haven't been able to close out some games. I mean, really, we are a drop pass, a call away. We're a couple plays away from being 7-4.
You probably should be 7-4.
Your record is what it says it is, as Bill Parcells would say. But we've been right in these games. We just didn't know how to close them out. So I think that's really the big thing about Joe Judge is that he has his team competing. We were getting blown out in these games last year with Patrick. So I think that's what everybody's seeing is they fight, they compete, they scratch, they claw. They're tough. The teams take on the persona of their head coach. Right. Joe Judge is a fighter. Joe Judge is a young guy. Joe Judge wants excellence. And he's the man.
I like y'all play calling too. I like the Giants play calling, actually.
Jason Garrett, the first 4 weeks of the season, everybody's like, why is he so vanilla? Why is he so vanilla? Well, because he couldn't trust the offensive line. The offensive line was terrible. And you saw that against Pittsburgh and Chicago. We couldn't do anything. Not to mention he didn't have any time to work with these guys. We didn't have any preseason games. But I think over the last 6 games, you really saw him open up. I think that started with the Dallas game where he started running a couple of exotic flea flickers, a little double reverse, end arounds. And I think that Jason Garrett's done a good job. What I really liked about Jason Garrett this past week was something that Cowboy fans complained about. And even me as a Giants fan said, why don't you guys run the ball more? 4 straight times on a 5-yard line, they ran the ball. Wayne Gallman scored a touchdown. Giants are running the ball 6 straight games over 100 yards with Wayne Gallman as a running back. So I think Jason Garrett's got a part of it. I think the coaching staff as a whole is fantastic. All of our guys, the 2 coordinators and the head coach are all Ivy League minds. They're smart. And we got smart players. I think the players buy in. So I think Jason Garrett's got a good hand, to be honest with you.
No rebuttal from me.
All right. Juice, thank you for the super chat. Really says Dak Bortles ain't special. We're going to get to that right now. That's actually the next question. My Packers own the Cowgirls, Wentz and the Eagles. Well, I mean, the Packers should own all of us. You're way better than we are. He says, I still believe Haskins will become great if given another shot. That is my next question. I wanted to ask you guys about your quarterback situation, because outside of the Giants, there's a lot of question marks in all your teams with your quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of, question marks going into 2021. LB, I'm going to start with you. Carson Wentz just got a 4-year, $128 million deal. They go out and they draft Jalen Hurts in the second round. I didn't understand the draft pick. I think I said that the last time I thought it was a terrible pick. But they go out, they draft the backup 53rd overall, a guy who I think is a gimmick quarterback anyway. I saw him play at Oklahoma. He can play in the Big 12, but I don't know if he's an NFL quarterback. What is this situation going forward to Philadelphia? And why is Doug Peterson bringing Jalen Hurts in there to throw one pass, and he's bringing Carson Wentz right the hell back in there? What the hell are they doing there? What the hell's the future of that quarterback spot down there in Philadelphia?
The future is Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is going to be a starting quarterback moving forward. What needs to change is we need to implement a competent offensive coordinator. Right now, I believe I'm the only team in our division where the head coach is calling the plays. Doug Peterson does not know what he's doing. He needs an offensive coordinator. The stats that I pointed out, earlier prove that, we're a running team, but we're throwing the ball 50-something times a game. When you got a struggling quarterback, from my experience of watching football, when you got a struggling quarterback, you're supposed to run the ball. Now, I think a lot of people around the NFL would agree that Miles Sanders is a star running back, right? Good. If not a star, he's the star on the Philadelphia Eagles.
Very good.
He's the star running back on the Philadelphia Eagles. It's inexcusable for Miles Sanders to have 6 carries in the game when you got a quarterback who's struggling. Carson Wentz is not being put in the best situations to succeed. Carson Wentz is deadly outside the pocket. We're making him a pocket passer with a weak offensive line. So that's the basis of the regression that you're seeing. He's just put in an uncomfortable situation. The future is Carson Wentz. We're going to regret the Jalen Hurts pick. We're already regretting it. He's coming in to throw a 6-yard pass every game and a read option on a 2-point conversion, and then he doesn't come back in the game. If you're going to play the dude, play him. If you want to see what he got, play him. That's how I feel about it. But Carson Wentz is the future moving forward, and I think this Jalen Hurts pick was just something that just got in the way, and it's messing with his mind. He need to get his ego and his mind together and understand that he's the guy moving forward. But he is the guy moving forward.
I was going to ask you if you think that had something to do with it.
Absolutely. When you got to fight from under Nick Foles' jockstrap and everything that he did to finally prove yourself last year and win a division in the manner that you wanted, winning like 6 games in a row, to now have to battle for your respect again for another quarterback that was drafted in the second round. Yeah, it seems like every year he has to fight for his respect, and that can be tiring, I think.
Yep, I understand. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Louie, okay, so you drafted Haskins last year, 15th overall. He didn't start last year, did start this year. They benched him really quick. They gave up on him really quick. Brought in Kyle Allen. Obviously, our guys here in New York, I guess they go after legs. I don't really know what their deal is going after people's ankles, but he got leg whipped by Jabril Peppers. He got knocked out. Alex Smith comes in. Alex Smith was 6-3 before he got hurt a couple years ago. He's a veteran. He's a winner. He doesn't make mistakes. Probably not the future of Washington. But what I want to ask you is this. Do you have your future quarterback in Washington, or is he in the draft someplace?
I don't think anybody even knows the answer to that. I think the easiest low-hanging fruit answer is, the quarterback of the future is not on the roster right now. It's a convoluted question because there's so many things left to play out. I think that before this whole stretch with Alex Smith, the thought process was he'll be gone next year. Save yourself, somewhere in the neighborhood of $13-14 million on the cap by getting rid of Alex Smith. He won't be back. I think they were hoping that, Kyle Allen could put a stranglehold on this thing. And even if he wasn't the guy, give them someone that could start next year and draft a young quarterback if they were done with Dwayne, which that's right now seems to be the direction that they're heading in. But we don't know. There's been so many mixed signals sent out by the coaching staff this year about, Dwayne. We thought he was going to be traded at the trade deadline. There was even a report that he could be released at the trade deadline if they can't find a partner. Like, that didn't make any sense because you're going to get something for him, even if it's a conditional 6th or 7th. You're going to get something for him in the offseason if you just wait. So, I didn't see anything, I didn't think that had any legs to it. But at the end of the day, I think the best route for Washington to take, if everything continues in the direction that it's going, is you allow Alex Smith to be your bridge quarterback, similar to the way that he was with Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. You allow him to be your starter going into the season. You're already paying him. Okay, it would have been nice to get up from under that contract, save some money, especially going into a cap year where it's supposedly going down. Right. You'd love to recoup $13-14 million if you could, but at the end of the day, if you can find a young quarterback in the draft that you think can be mentored by Alex, who better than Alex Smith to be mentored by? When you listen to Patrick Mahomes and all the other guys that he's played alongside that have nothing but glowing things to say about Alex Smith and what he does for their development, have Alex be your quarterback going into 2021. You have the young guy on the roster. You could even bring back Kyle Allen if you like, because he's not under contract. I think he's going to be a restricted free agent. You sign Kyle Allen back. It's not going to cost you a lot of money, so that young guy doesn't have to play. Even if something were to happen to Alex Smith, you feel good about this guy continuing to learn and develop. But I don't think the quarterback of the future for Washington is on the roster. And I do want to add to what LB was saying about the Carson Wentz situation. You know, with Howie Roseman, you just got to know who you're dealing with. Carson Wentz, to me, is a guy with a fragile psyche, especially dealing with the situation with Nicholas Foles. And so I remember I was a proponent of them drafting Jalen Hurts because Howie's thought process wasn't we're looking to replace Wentz or we're looking for competition. This is an insurance policy. I've stated that before. But you can't do that with a guy like Carson Wentz, who was trying to get from under the shadow of Nick Foles. He needed to know this is my team. And even if the message was sent that, hey, you have nothing to worry about, Jalen Hurts isn't going to be our starting quarterback, he's not thinking that way. He's looking over his shoulder now. And now there's undue pressure being put on him to perform when he should just be going out there and trying to just play confident football. And I think that's what he's missing is confidence. Yeah. He was out there trying to overcompensate for all of the guys that were out. And we talk about all these, different things going on in Philadelphia. I'm not a big fan of their coach, Doug Peterson, but they had a lot of injuries, man. Again, okay? And so Carson went out there and he was looking around and like, I got to throw the ball to Travis Fulgham? Oh, shit. Well, I got to do some things out here. I don't have a running back. I don't have any receivers. When is Alshon coming back again? When is Deshaun coming back again? Like, we kept looking around. Are they coming back this week? Deshaun comes back for one game. He's hurt again. Like, he was out there pressing.
We got a running back. We're not using him. Everybody's under the misconception. We have the running back. We're just not using him.
When he's healthy.
You know what I mean?
He's a guy that is often hurt as well. But Miles Sanders is a beast, as you mentioned already. And so it's convoluted again, but I think he's missing confidence right now. That's the biggest thing with Carson Wentz.
Real quick about Alex Smith. I mean, what a story. Him coming back from life-threatening injury to become the starter of Washington again. I loved it as a story myself. And listen, I've compared Daniel Jones to Alex Smith a lot. I always say that Daniel Jones could be Alex Smith. He's not going to be Russell Wilson. He's not going to be Pat Mahomes. There's nothing wrong with Alex Smith. He was the first pick in the draft for a reason. Wherever he's gone, he's always seemed to win games. Mm-hmm. And if Daniel Jones could get to that level at some point, I'd be very happy with that.
You know what? No one ever thought he was going to come back and do this. It's just amazing to see how far he's come from that Project 11 documentary to where he is now. But, the misconception with him is, he doesn't turn it over. Well, his ass turning the shit over this year. That's damn sure.
I could see him honestly getting extended if he could stay healthy. He's the best quarterback on that team.
He ain't getting an extension, but he's put it this way. Bruce Allen gave him an extension when we traded for him in 2018. Once that contract's up, he's done. But he's still got like 2 or 3 years left on that extension. I don't see him going anywhere right now. But, the future, everything changes, it seems like, week to week, year to year with this football team. So we'll see what happens.
Let me get this real quick. Juice, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Really says Chase Young will become the best defensive player in football one day. McLaurin is a young AB without the baggage. Juice is secretly a Washington fan, I believe, because
Come on, Juice. And place on the bandwagon, man.
Lucas, my friend from down under, man. Thank you so much for the super chat. Says, mad respect to you all. Not easy to stand in front of everyone discussing a down season for your respective teams, but that's why the NFC East is great, because a lot of respect, a lot of haters, but a lot of respect at the same time. Man, we're the best division in football historically, and that's why I love being able to work with guys like this. By the way, again, how many people we got in here? We got almost 900. So if you guys haven't done so, like I said, the link to all 3 of these content creators, the links to all their channels in the description. Please make sure you go in there, click on those, sub these guys up, get some of the best content you're going to find on YouTube from these 3 gentlemen. So please subscribe them, and hey, hit that thumbs up button for this stream. That does help out. Hey, subscribe to this channel too. Why the hell not? Law Nation, let me get to you. You've been waiting patiently.
Well, I don't think that the Joneses believe in Dak Prescott all the way. They're trying to figure out this thing out. So, and where they're going to pick at in the draft. So I don't know what they're going to do, to be honest with you all. Now, the thing is, if they're going to pay him, they got to pay him north of what Deshaun Watson is getting, right? And if they're going to franchise tag him, that's going to be a crazy situation to sully and denigrate Dak Prescott like that, when all he's trying to do is prove and showcase that he can play on this level and he should get paid handsomely, of what, Deshaun Watson is getting. So it goes back to the philosophy. What would you three do? What would you guys do? Would you go ahead and draft a quarterback and you got 5 years on him, 6 if you franchise tag him or what have you, or do you pay Dak Prescott north of $40 million? What would you guys do?
I got to franchise tag him after that injury. It sucks, but that's just the reality of it. I would have to franchise tag you after that injury.
I'm paying him. Paying him. You guys are a win now franchise. I'm paying him. Ankle's not an ACL. Bones heal than tendons.
Bones definitely heal back stronger, but I got to franchise him one more year. They should have been paid them, because now think about it. Now you got to pay him a ridiculous amount. The price does nothing but go up. You know what I mean? I would franchise tag him.
Louie T.
Let me be the voice of reason here. I've been through this before, man. Don't franchise tag him again. Don't Kirk Cousins this man. Do you know how much it will cost you to double up on that franchise?
It's expensive. It's expensive.
He went Tony, and Sir Mix-a-Lot tonight. I like it.
No, you got to pay this man. No, seriously though. Dak Prescott is the best thing you've seen in Dallas in quite some time. And this thing about drafting, this is the fun thing about fans, is that we find a guy that we get fixated on in the draft. Oh, I love me some Zach Wilson, or they find a guy and they rally to that guy, and that's the guy we got to get. That's an inexact science. You got a guy staring you right in the face that's showing you he can do it. He can do it. Why would you go looking for something else?
So Louie, the injury not a concern right now. The injury's not a concern at all. You just pay him. You just pay him what he deserves. He deserves to get paid.
Right.
He deserves to get paid. So you're telling me the injury is not a concern?
No, not at all. Again, just like Bad Dog said, this isn't an ACL. This isn't his shoulder. This isn't Cam Newton. This isn't his back. This is his ankle. It'll heal. He'll be fine. I have no doubts that he'll be back stronger, better than ever. The guy has proven that he can get it done at a high level. He should have been paid already, but you got to pay him now. To me, it's a situation where, as Bad Dog stated, you're looking to win now. We got veterans on this team. We're ready to go right now, out of the package, and I don't have time to wait for a rookie to come in here and figure it out.
Now,
in 2 or 3 years.
Now, Law asks, what would we do? Now, if I'm Dak, I'm bouncing because you ain't paid me and you put me in this situation. If I'm Dak, I'm bouncing because the Colts might need a quarterback next year.
Well, this is the thing. Money talks, everything else walks. If they show them the money and the years are right, and reportedly that was the problem. They couldn't come to an agreement on the years. So if everything comes together, money makes sense, years make sense. He wants to stay in Dallas. There isn't. I hate to say this, but I understand it.
You just said if the money makes sense. Listen, if that hit the market.
Right.
Dak will be the most sought out free agent at the quarterback position in a very long time.
This is what people don't understand.
Everybody going to be throwing that money.
This is the thing that people don't understand. This is why Dak was so patient. The most profitable position in sports is the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Do you know how much money this man is making off the field?
I'm not trying to hear about no endorsements. I'm trying to hear guaranteed bread.
He's over here slinging mattresses.
We talking about guaranteed
the man
bread.
Is making so much money that this money that the Dallas Cowboys, it's a respect thing. It's for that. He's gonna make his money regardless, whether he's with Indianapolis, he's with this team, that team. It doesn't matter. He's gonna make his money. It's no more profitable position in sports than the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. He doesn't want to leave Dallas.
He wants his respect. You're talking about in NFL and football, yeah.
I'm talking about in sports.
Oh, come on, man. Come on, don't do that.
In sports,
Yeah,
there's no more
NBA contracts are sick in the baseball.
Yeah, don't do that.
Obviously, NBA players. I'm talking about
football.
I'm talking about in sports. There is no more prestigious. No. Obviously, basketball players, they sign these $500 million contract shoe deals, all that stuff. I understand it. I'm talking about from a marketable position. There is no more prestigious, position in sports than the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Look at Tony Romo.
I disagree.
Look at Tony Romo.
I disagree. And the NFL, yeah. So we're gonna keep it football, yeah. Come on.
Like I said, look at Tony Romo. What has Tony Romo done? Not a goddamn thing. Look at all the endorsement deals Tony Romo has.
We're still talking football. I agree.
I'm talking about in the consciousness of this country. Football is king. First of all, let's stop with the basketball stuff because basketball it's peanuts compared to the NFL. Okay, yeah, NBA is global, but the NFL is king. The Washington football team and the Dallas Cowboys just played a game on Thanksgiving. 33 million people watched the game. 2, 3, and 7 teams. Don't talk. Nobody's watching NBA basketball.
The game was on a national holiday, and nobody.
It doesn't matter.
And nobody on either one of those teams.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Nobody on any one of those teams has more endorsements than LeBron James. So what you just said is not in sports. It's in the NFL. I agree.
Listen to what I'm saying. LeBron James is the unicorn. He's a unicorn. He's like Michael Jordan. He's like Kobe Bryant. Those guys are so rare. Don't look around the rest of the NBA. Don't talk to me. What about
Kevin Durant? Steph Curry got more endorsements than Dak Prescott.
Does he really?
Yeah, he does. I don't even have to look that up.
I don't know about that.
I don't even got to look that up.
I don't know about that.
Let's not get off topic.
I can tell you his stuff is not going the way that Dak Prescott stuff is going. But I'll take it a step further. You were about to say Kevin Durant. What is Kevin Durant? Only thing Kevin Durant has is the shoe deal with Nike.
You stopped me at Steph.
Okay.
You stopped me at Steph.
Okay, so like I was saying, the most prestigious position in sports is the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. And so with Dak Prescott, he don't want to leave Dallas. So they got to find a way to make this thing work. And Jared, think about this too. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let it go. It takes a certain type of quarterback to be able to play for Jerry Jones. Dak Prescott fits that to a T. He toes the company line. He doesn't go out of pocket. He doesn't do anything that's going to embarrass the franchise. When this whole kneeling thing came, what did Dak? Dak was a good soldier. He didn't say anything. He could have stepped up. Now, Dak has said some things recently, but Dak was a good soldier. It takes a certain type of individual to play for Jerry Jones. Dak Prescott's that guy. And I think they understand that, and I think they're going to find a way to get that done.
See what just started, Law? You got
I started.
The Washington fan fighting over Dak Prescott. I got to give you credit. That was good. We get a couple of these real quick. You must hear this all the time, Law Nation, because there's a couple of people saying, James. So Christian, thank you for the super chat, says, James Harden, your thought on the John Wall trade. Right after that, Dr. Demolition, thank you for the super chat, says, I didn't know James Harden was a Cowboys fan. I didn't know y'all had him on this stream. How often do you get the James Harden thing?
I can't go nowhere in Dallas, man, without being mobbed, man. I gotta just walk through this thing slowly.
Is that for real? Or are you joking?
Man, it's crazy, man. Free foods when I go to the airports and everything. So shout out to James Harden, man, for looking like me. I'm 9 years older than James, by the way.
Nice.
Have you ever signed an autograph?
Nah.
Okay.
I'm 5'11", man. That joker like 6'5", 6'4", or something.
But you took that free food though.
I sit there and said, oh, this is from the gentleman way over there in the corner with the Houston Rocket jersey on. He's saying that okay, you can have that meal for free. I said okay.
Right.
Why not?
Sammy Weber, thank you for the super chat. He says,
"Oh man."
Says, Law Nation, you remind me of a classier Stephen A., and it's very refreshing. I'm a Giants fan, but all four of you are the real deal. Mad respect. Thank you, Sam.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
All right. Next question. Draft. If you guys could go back and LB, we're going to start with you on this one. If you got, I think that's where we – no. Where did
I went first last time. It's probably on Louie.
It's Louie.
Yeah.
Let's go back. Draft. You probably aren't going to change it. But if you could go back and change your first-round pick, would you do it, and who would it be?
You already know the answer to that. I lost to you on purpose to get Chase Young.
What's 6 years this year? What's 6 years this year? Did you lose us twice this year to get who?
No. I didn't want to lose this year. That was last year. All right, we didn't want to lose this year. We just, for some reason, we don't know how to beat y'all. We can't get out of our own way. But there's nothing I would do different about the draft. We got Chase Young. He's going to be a stud for many years to come. He's getting triple teamed already, double teamed massively every single game. I wouldn't do anything different.
I freaking love Chase Young. I knew that. When I wrote that question, I'm like, oh, Louie ain't going to do anything different, and I don't blame him. Law Nation, no. I mean, CeeDee Lamb, I'm a Sooner fan. I freaking love CeeDee Lamb. I think CeeDee Lamb going to be a superstar. I've said it the whole time. He's been a little inconsistent. He sent some drops, which is crazy because he never dropped anything in Oklahoma. But some of the catches he made, the one catch he made, I forgot who. I think it was Thanksgiving. That was just
it was Minnesota.
It was Minnesota
game, right? It was Minnesota game.
That was a good catch. You talk about that touchdown catch, right?
Yeah. Ridiculous.
Beautiful.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
But I don't think you needed him. What would you do? Would you keep CeeDee Lamb, or what would if you could redo that 17th pick? You keeping CeeDee, or are you going somewhere else?
Yeah, you got to keep CD at this point, and I like him. You know, the way he attacks to the ball, he was on pace to smash all of the Dallas Cowboys records as it relates to a rookie wide receiver, and he still got the record as far as receptions numbers as a rookie, and he got Andy Dalton throwing him the ball, and Gilbert and DiNucci. So he got the record, and right now they're fighting for Rookie of the Year, Justin Jefferson and Justin Hubert. So one can argue if Dak Prescott, I know if was a fifth, we all would be drunk around here. If Dak Prescott was healthy, man, that record would have been it would have been crazy for CD. And even our second round draft pick, even though he's hurt, Diggs right now, he's doing a better job than Jeff Okudah, and he was drafted before him. And he's also doing a better job in the what's the kid name that went to the Atlanta Falcons? I forgot his name at the tip of my tongue.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus, the guy from Clemson, AJ Terrell. AJ
Terrell. Oh my God, he's doing better than him. So I'm looking at both of those picks was good for us. We just got to figure out how to double this thing up for the 2021 draft as far as defense. But we okay. I like our picks. I wouldn't change it.
Do you think that they took CeeDee Lamb to block him from going to Philadelphia?
Hell yeah. Absolutely.
They wouldn't have known what to do with it. They had Justin Jefferson staring them in the damn face, and they took
right.
Hold on.
I told y'all
y'all didn't get Justin Jefferson.
2.5 months ago, I said they made a mistake, and he and LB sat here and tried to argue with me and see how that turned.
You about to hear my answer, but you keep telling us what you told us. Mm-hmm. We told you to get a quarterback. Hey, we told you to get a quarterback.
I'm 4-7. I'm 4-7. I don't know about you.
Enjoy it.
You want a quarterback and you're 3-7. So until you get on our level, don't talk to me about quarterback.
If you're going to tell me that you would take Chase Young and not take that Herbert kid or Tua,
I would take Chase Young. I would take Chase Young again.
Okay.
Because how you win in this league, there are different ways to win. You can take the quarterback first, or you can do it like the Seattle Seahawks did it. You can build the infrastructure, which is what we're doing currently. You build the infrastructure, and then you drop Russell Wilson right in the middle, boop, and you go on a run.
Where your Russell Wilson at?
We don't have him yet. I just told you that.
Right. What are you talking about?
We don't have him yet. But you build the infrastructure first.
Okay.
What you don't get that concept?
I get the concept.
The defense is building. You got Terry McLaurin. You got the running backs. You're starting to build all of the pieces that you need, all the ancillary pieces, and then you find a quarterback. It's not easy to do. And I'm not saying it's going to happen in the third round like Russ, but you find that young quarterback, and hopefully if you get this right, you drop him in the middle and you let it go. And that's what I'm hoping we're doing.
President Mike, thanks for the super chat. Louie T just answered your question. He obviously would not have taken Justin Herbert. So LB, we'll let you answer this. If you could go back and do the draft over again, would you take Jalen Reagor, or would you take Justin Jefferson? Would you take somebody else?
Hell no, I wouldn't take Jalen Reagor. I would take Justin Jefferson if I could do it over. I would take Justin Jefferson.
He said his ass. He said his ass.
I would take. Say that again.
Billy Bob said, "I don't want Justin Jefferson his ass."
Man, hell yeah, I'll take Justin Jefferson over him. I'll probably take Denzel Mims. I'll take Higgins. It's so many people I would take over him right now if I had to do it over. Reagor and Jefferson was on my draft board. I was content with the pick at the time, but I believe we're using them wrong. But Justin Jefferson by a long shot. Come on, Justin Jefferson all the way.
that was my problem with
Claypool. It was so many people.
But
Right.
See, this is the thing. We're looking at it in hindsight now because I don't think a lot of people were. I'm a Notre Dame Fighting Irish fan. Chase Claypool wasn't a first round pick at the time when the selection was made. But I said the same thing about Jalen Reagor. He's not a first round pick. That was my problem. He wasn't a first round pick.
I don't know. I don't know. I evaluate guys different at the wide receiver position because I don't watch college football. I look at guys' measurables and I look at what they could do. I look at freaks of nature. The year before this draft, I was screaming at the screen for DK Metcalf. And then this year, I was screaming at the screen for Justin Jefferson. I didn't scream Claypool, but that is a physical freak. And I would have definitely looked at him.
Yeah,
we got to be careful with DK, though. I don't think that he become DK if it wasn't for Russell and that coach pretty much putting everything in the layout because he did rounded his routes and he didn't fight at the top of his routes. That brother now is just.
Thank you, Law. I tried to explain to everybody. He couldn't have landed in a better spot. He would not have been DK if he landed in Philadelphia. If he landed in New Orleans, he wouldn't be the same quarterback. I disagree. That offense.
I give you an example. If Denzel Mims go to the Seattle Seahawks, everybody be like, "Man, look at Mims." But he went to the Jets, so
Mims has similar measurables though. He got similar measurables. They both big and they both could run like a 4.4 or under. Those dudes are big and fast.
But Mims is a big receiver. Lester superstar. Stay the hell away from them. That's why I didn't like Reagor. He's Josh Doxson. He's Corey Coleman. And not to mention, this is the thing with Reagor. His pro day was a 4.28. His combine was like a 4.48. Don't look at the pro day. The pro day is always BS. Always. He's not as fast. He gets no separation. And the only reason of course, I mean, let's face it, I love the hate of the Eagles. But the whole thing with Reagor, the whole thing with Hurts for me was that I watch these guys play on a consistent basis. So I don't need to watch film. Like I watch them. I didn't like them. I loved CeeDee Lamb. I don't know. I didn't like him. I didn't understand Reagor. I didn't understand why he didn't take Justin Jefferson. I did not.
I can tell you. I
don't even think Reagor know the plays, man. I don't even think he know the plays.
This is what the Eagles fans were telling us. I think LB told us this on the program last time. Well, we needed an out wide receiver. Justin Jefferson only played the slot at LSU. That was the excuse.
I didn't say that. You got to rewind that and show me that. I said
that's what Eagles fans were saying. We needed a guy out wide. The Eagles overcompensated for the lack of speed the year before, and they decided they were going to draft any guy that ran a 4 or 5. And they agree with that because they got 3 guys that can run but can't play football, and they could have got 1 good receiver. That's all they really needed.
I'm on record saying Justin Jefferson is the perfect fit for Carson because Carson is really good in the red zone, and that dude is really good in the red zone. It's like a match made in heaven. But hey, we decided to go for some guy who's fast but don't even field punts. He's still one of the worst punt returning teams in the league.
I think the combine's people look way too much at the damn speed. If you can't get open, it doesn't matter how fast you are.
Right now we
around. It don't matter how fast. Look at John Ross.
Exactly.
Broke the 40 record, 4.2240. The guy's been trash his whole career. I'd rather have a guy like CeeDee Lamb who's 4.52, runs perfect routes and has great hands. Give me that guy all day over a John Ross.
Everything, and I can't state this enough, and I talk about it every year, especially when we talk about prospects. It's all about fit. You got to go somewhere where you fit in. If you get on the right team, like Alvin Kamara went to the perfect team in New Orleans. You got to know how to use your personnel. Like a John Ross, you put him on the right team with a guy that has vision to see what he does well and put him in positions to succeed. I guarantee you, if John Ross goes to the right place after he gets out of Cincinnati, he could be a problem. Because I don't know if you remember this, but the start of the year last year, might have been 2 years ago, John Ross was eating. Like the first 3 weeks of the season, over 100 in every game, he was lighting it up, and then he got hurt again. He's not as bad as everybody thinks. He just needs a change of scenery.
That's true. That usually helps a lot of people. By the way, I just want to say again, we have almost 1,000 people in here, so thank you all for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. Once again, if you guys are not subscribed to these fine gentlemen, the links to all 3 of their channels in the description. So make sure you guys click on those, sub them up, show them some love. And that way you can get the best content you're going to find, or some of the best content you're going to find. I don't want to slight any other content creators, but these guys are definitely at the top of what they do. So make sure you definitely check them out. And like I said, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, hey, what the hell? Give me a chance to, and hit that like button. That always helps out all the streams.
You said it right, bad dog.
What's that?
I said you said it right, man. You ain't got to correct yourself.
I like it. Okay. Let me ask you this. Where am I starting this time? I've lost track of where I was starting. We'll start with you, Louie. I'm just gonna ask you guys plain and simple. How do you think your coach has done this year?
Oh my God. Look, Ron has dealt with so much. I talked about the cancer diagnosis right before the season started and all the adversity he has to go. Look, just being the coach of the Washington football team is a chore because you got to deal with Daniel Snyder and all the shit that comes with being part of this organization, the scandals and all the things that go on. It's just so much. And he's dealt with it as well. And that's why we were excited, because I didn't think we could get this caliber of a head coach. Nobody wants to coach the Washington football team. Like, who wants to come to Washington and deal with the things that you have to deal with? And he's come in here. He talked about changing the culture. He has. Now, it's been convoluted, the messages that he's given to them. I don't care what he's talking about to us. As long as the players get the message, that's all I care about. He can tell us whatever he wants to tell us. We half the time we don't know what the hell he's talking about, whether he's coming or he's going. But the players, just like you talked about with Joe Judge, and you said last year we would have got blown out. You only been beat up in one game, and that was the 49ers game for the most part. Every other game you've been ultra competitive. Yes. Even games where you look like you on the verge of getting your ass whooped, you find a way to battle back and make it interesting. Right. Same thing with us. There have been games this season where I'm like, last year we would have lost that game by 27. Okay, we lost that game 37-10. And every game we fight, we scratch, we claw, and we're right there. We don't know how to win. We're a young team. That's what happens when you're a young team. You don't know how to win these games at the end. But we're right there. He's changing the culture in Washington. He's given us a reason to believe. We don't have many coaches that have done that. It's just Joe Gibbs. It's just Joe Gibbs in the last 2 decades. We don't have, 3 decades, really. So he's given us a reason to believe. And he's done a phenomenal job to this point.
Yeah. LB, do I even need to ask?
Yeah, you do.
Get it off your chest. Get it on. Listen. Yours. Rant on the worst coach in the NFL. I'm just going to say this as a Giants fan. I hope he gets an extension. I want to see him. They should respect him, right? If they don't, they
listen. Doug Peterson is looking like somebody that want to get fired. He's looking stubborn.
Why would he go for a 4th and 4 when you're down by 11 points?
Don't talk to me. Don't talk to him about 4th plays, man. 4th down plays.
I think he did it when we were down 8 as well. But he's looking like a dude that wants to get fired. I mean, it's all cute and dandy when the the going for 2 points works sometime and going for the 4th down works sometime. But you can't make a living out of that when your offense is struggling. Doug Peterson, in my mind, this is a guy who I said was up there with the Tomlins and the Andy Reids. You know what I mean? Dude is looking like the worst coach in the NFL. He's stubborn. He don't want to give up play calling. He doesn't want to put his quarterback in the best possible situation to succeed. He doesn't want to run the ball. I mean, he just doesn't want to win. He don't want to win. Because if you're going to war and one gun works better than the other, ain't you going to use the gun that worked good? Carson Wentz, he ain't got no bullets right now. You got to run the ball with Miles Sanders. Everybody sees this, and he just refuses to do it. I think it looks like borderline sabotage, man. At this point, it's like it's painful to watch, but I'm gonna watch every week because that's what I do. Would I fire him? I don't know, man. I fire his ass if I'm Laurie this year. I'll fire his ass this year, bro. I can't even lie to you. I can't even lie, man. I can't even lie.
I'll keep it 100. I like the job he's doing there.
Oh, I bet you do. I bet you do. But if I don't fire him, I give him an ultimatum. Listen, you're not calling plays this year. Get you a play caller in here, and let's see how that work out. You're on a very short leash after this, if I'm Laurie, man. But I had enough of the press conferences and the excuses and that we got to be better every week. I don't want to hear that no more, man. You're Super Bowl winning coach. You know that the win is all that matter. Put your team in a position to win.
I'm telling you, step off. Even in 2017, I swear to God, I would come out and say that the Eagles win in spite of Peterson. I never liked him. I never liked Doug Peterson.
I said the same thing.
He did some bold. He called some bold plays. Yep. For sure. You got to give him credit for things like the Philly special. You got to give him credit for okaying plays like that. But Frank Wright was the real mind behind that whole system. Absolutely. When the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl, we were number 1 in rushing in the National Football League. Now that's just a thing of the past now. You know what I mean? Doug Peterson is so bad, I forgot we won the Super Bowl. I just feel like we're back. Seriously, I feel like we're back. I feel like we're back to Dallas dominating and the Giants and Eli cooking in the playoffs. I feel like I'm in a time machine, bro. He took me back.
I'll tell you what. I wish I could forget that you won the damn Super Bowl. I can tell you that much.
I second that. Yeah.
Forget that. Law, give us your thoughts on Mike McCarthy.
Oh, you know what they're saying? I don't want to lie to kick it. Mike McCarthy lied to kick it, and trust me, he get the mulligan for this year. But he went on a press conference and said, you know what? I didn't really watch all of the plays. I was just trying to get the job. So now I'm looking at him like, dog, you did what? He literally said that. Yeah. He said, I'm just trying to get the job. I didn't really watch all of the plays. So my thing is with Mike McCarthy, it's going to be a mulligan. I know. I don't see any brilliancy so far. He did make one move that I know that Jason Garrett would not have made, was kicking Zach Martin as the tackle. But that was when everything was fire and brimstone at that point. Mm-hmm. And my thing is, we will have to sit back and say to ourselves, let's wait. But I just think that Mike McCarthy, if it was a grade, if I was giving out grades or what have you, I would give him a flat out F because of the way how everything worked out. Now, I do know that we had a right tackle, a left tackle to go out, and, of course, our quarterback to go out. And they say, well, Law, why are you giving bad grades? Well, that's life. The gazelle don't tell the lion, don't bite me on the ass. The lion goes out and bite him on the ass, regardless of the situation. A lion goes out to hunt and kill. Look, I'm looking at your team, Louie T. Your coach going through cancer. You know what I'm saying? And still fighting and clawing. I know you guys are one game above us, but it's just the whole philosophy of establishing something. We're not established. We don't know whether or not we're going to be a pass-happy team, a defensive team, a run-first team. We don't know what we are. So that's why I give him an F.
He's going to run for mayor or something? Does that sound awful? That sounds like a politician. Just give me the job and then.
Yeah.
Oh, we giving him grades too? Oh, F. I forgot the greatest paper. Take this F with you, Doug.
Doug Peterson gets a Z.
For real, man. It's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, and I mentioned earlier, I think Joe Judge has just got the Giants fighting. And as Giants fans, and again, we did this back at the beginning of July. Like Louie T said, Louie T and I kind of sat back, figured we're both young. We just want to see our teams improve, and figured the Eagles and Cowboys would win this division. Now, I did say back then, too, and I said this all offseason, nobody was winning more than 9 games in this division. I didn't think it'd be historically poor. Mm-hmm. There's a good possibility we all lose this week again. Mm-hmm. But, the fact that we're still all in it is awesome. The fact that it's Washington, I've been waiting for Washington, the Giants, to be at the top of this division for a long time. And even if it is just for 1 week in a terrible season, I'll take it. It's just good to be competitive again. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure Louie feels the same way, even if our teams don't have the best record. Just the fact that, like you said, we're playing meaningful games in December. It's been forever since that. I've been doing draft videos at the end of October. The Yankees season was longer than
that. Look, man, I've been every year. It got so bad. It got so bad. I went from a meaningful football in December to meaningful football in November to, let me get out of September with some hope, man. Right. Let me get to October still playing games that actually matter, man.
I do not want to rain on your parade, but y'all are 4-7.
Yeah.
And I want to rain on your parade.
I understand that. You don't have to rain. I got an umbrella because we in first place. So it's all good, man.
I don't want to rain on your parade. Y'all 4-7, though.
Hey. You can't make me feel bad about being in first place.
Here's a bold prediction. It's going to change again this week. Probably be the Giants on top.
The Giants already on top.
Oh, the Giants on top? I thought it was Washington.
We're tied at 4-7, but they swept us, so they own the season series. So technically speaking, if the playoffs started today, the Giants would be in and we would be out.
To be fair, we just own Washington. That's really the better thing to say.
Okay. We're going to stop that next year. Don't worry about it. We're going to stop that next year. I can't say nothing to you this year because you already got us twice.
I can't say beat the Eagles, so anything could happen. LB, how did that feel? You know you were done when the Giants beat you, admit it.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't happy for y'all, but it got to come to an end at some point. Like at some point, we got to beat Russell Wilson. He owns us. We never beat Russell Wilson. Played him like 6 times. It got to come to an end at some point. So us beating the Giants 8 times in a row was just kind of crazy to me. But I was sick. I ain't gonna lie. But
it is weird that we can't beat the Eagles or Dallas to save our life. We beat Washington all the time. Washington can beat you guys. It's weird. The NFC East has always been. And since
it wasn't. It wasn't weirder than seeing Washington manhandle Dallas like that, though. As long as I can remember, because I live in the DC area. Man, the Cowboys own them dudes, man. It was like
7-1. Dak Prescott is 7-1 against Washington.
It was like a Super Bowl when they beat them on Thanksgiving.
My dad is anybody that watches my channel knows my whole family is a massive Cowboy fan. My dad's a massive Cowboys fan. And my dad always would say, "Hey, we got two houses, man. Yours and ours." What are you gonna say to that? They come to our house, beat us every year. We go to Dallas, they beat us every year. What can you say? So to sweep them and to put an exclamation point on it, like that Montez Sweat pick 6 at the end to make put a 40 burger on them. Juices dripping down your chin on the 40. That 40 burger was so delicious.
It was.
Are you kidding me?
It was. I ain't gonna lie. I enjoyed watching it, knowing that we wasn't gonna be in first place. I did enjoy the demise of Dallas. I can't even front.
Man,
a wounded animal, man.
But you can't even. It's funny.
Andy Dalton.
You wanna say the demise? Nobody's dead. Dallas could win this week, and they could be back in first place. Like, nobody's actually dead. Like I wanted to bury those boys with that win, but I'm like, hey, I can't even do that. They could win next week against the Ravens, and everybody can lose, and they could be back in first place.
If they win a division, then your sweep means nothing.
No, it does mean something because no coach in Washington history has ever swept Dallas in their first season as head coach. Not even the revered Joseph Gibbs did that. Jackson Gibbs didn't do that.
Why would somebody even make that a stat? But
because it's division. Because first of all, I told you this the last time. We don't worry about Philly. We don't worry about the Giants. We hate Dallas more than just like I'm pretty sure the Giants hate the Eagles more than anybody else in the division.
True.
It's how it is. We care about Dallas more than we care about anybody else. Now we want to beat Philadelphia. We want to beat the Giants, obviously, because we're in the division. It's family business. However, it matters more when it's Dallas. It matters more because that's the team that we look at and say we can't stand you bastards more than anybody else in the division.
Don't worry, we'll be back next year with full army, man. We're going to be ready for y'all, man. We're going to be locked, loaded, and ready.
We can't wait. We'll be sitting here waiting for you. Chase Young, Terry McLaurin, all of those boys. We'll be waiting.
That's actually leaving my next question. Let me get this real quick. JB, thanks for the super chat. Really says everyone's favorite and least favorite player on their team. We'll get to that if we have a chance. My chat froze. Where'd that go? Raw Rebel, thank you for super chat. Says Andy Dalton was the next great thing in Dallas in the offseason, according to Cowboys fans. You guys are ready for Dak to be done with Dak. Some Cowboy fans did feel that way, which I don't understand. I mean, Dak's way better than Andy Dalton. I don't know how anybody who watches football could think any differently. Mark Edelman, thank you for the super chat. He says, that Chase Young game in Washington was the biggest mistake the Giants could have made. Not only did they kill us and made Washington get scary strong, well, they got strong, but they got swept too. So obviously we did something okay there. And as long as we're beating them, I don't care what they got. I love Chase Young. I mean, I want to Chase Young. The guy's a beast. But you got to win games, you know? And I thought that game might have given Daniel Jones some confidence. It obviously didn't. Rakeem, thank you for super chat, says, I actually hate Dallas more. I think Dallas and Philadelphia is kind of a coin flip for the Giants, but I probably hate Philly like a little more just because they have beat the living shit out of us.
Yeah. You know, I kind of hate all of you guys, but yeah. I think I hate all of you. I didn't hate Washington until I moved in this area. I always hated Dallas, and I just cannot stand the Giants. So it's just like I hate all you guys.
Yeah,
it's hate.
You understand, Brunson, because you're looking up, man. Them neck muscles, man, strong. They got stomach muscles in them because you're looking up to the greatness. And all of y'all are my children because y'all still looking up. Even if we got to blow and dust, we got to dust the dirt off of them, but y'all still looking up.
I remember the notorious ring pop meme where they had all y'all rings lined up and they had the Eagles ring with the ring pop. I hated that meme.
Yeah, I wanted y'all to stay without a ring so goddamn bad.
I did too. I like the trophy case with the chunky soup can in it. That was good.
Hated it.
Every year we would have this Super Bowl gathering where only teams that won a Super Bowl were invited, and I used to say, shut the door and say, sorry, Philly, maybe next year, man. And I would pull the curtain down and say, get the hell out of here. Now we can't do that. You got to let your ass in too.
Well, we still can do the one ring, ma'am, though, you know, while you missed the phone call with the one ring.
All right, so we were talking about next season. Let's start with you, Law Nation. What's your draft? What do you need in the draft? What position are you looking for? Now, obviously, it has a lot to do with where you pick, and it has a lot to do with what you do in free agency. But ideal position, what do you need to fill in Dallas?
We're going to need offensive line help, but I'm team defense, man. I do like the philosophy where you build from the inside out. We need a strong defensive tackle. We need a safety. We need to have value in that type of position. We got a Donovan Wilson, who was a guy that stepped up this year. But I believe if Justin Simmons is out there, we need to probably what's the guy, Justin Simmons for the Denver Broncos? That's his name, right? We need to probably take a chance at that. But we really need help at safety play as well as with defensive tackle, interior.
He's a beast too. I would hate for him to come to Dallas. I really would.
LB, I think I know the answer to this because you kind of touched on it earlier, but draft needs, who's your ideal draft pick for the Philadelphia Eagles?
If we lose the division, Jamar Chase, if you got to trade up to get him, you got to do whatever you got to do. If you listen, put a package together that include Arcega-Whiteside, Rager, Quez Watkins, Hightower, all them dudes you just drafted, get rid of everybody. Throw Alshon in there too. Just keep Fulgham and Jamar Chase, and I feel good. I feel good. I feel good going. But I mean, if you lose out, you got to get Jamar Chase. I think you need a wide receiver regardless.
Yes,
still.
Bad.
You need a wide receiver. You need a wide receiver.
And you draft receivers every year.
Drafted 3 of them, and nobody's contributing. So you got to get a wide receiver.
What you need is a GM that can actually draft a wide receiver.
You do.
Maybe you could get him in the draft. CD Mixie, thank you for super chat. Really, he says, me and every fan of the NFC East is depressed but excited at the same time. Let's go Giants. Yeah, this is true. I mean, we all have a chance in this thing. Louie T, what do you think? Washington's biggest need in the draft?
Plan on winning the division. So in the 20s.
Yeah,
it's going to be a situation where we could use offensive line help, a left tackle. Normally those are gone by the time you get to the 20s. Linebacker is a desperate need. You could go safety if that's good value, but I've already talked about the quarterback position, and I think this draft is loaded at quarterback. So I feel really good that if they like somebody at say 21, 22, I think that's the position that you pull the trigger on in the first round. But I love our de facto GM. He's finally in control, and he's done a hell of a job. So I trust whatever he decides to do. I think quarterback needs to be the first pick, though. But if it's not, I'm not going to be upset because I want him taking players that he feels like is going to help this team win.
We're going to trade y'all Hurts.
I'm good. No, I'm good on that. I'm a pass on that.
But you guys are in position to get like a Trey Lance or a Kyle Trask or even a Mac Jones. So
it's like I said, so many quarterbacks that when it's all said and done, somebody's going to potentially fall. Similar to Jordan Love this past draft. I really loved Jordan Love, and I love the fact that he landed in Green Bay because he's going to get a chance to learn. I think we're going to be in a position like that where somebody's going to fall, and if they like that quarterback, you pull the trigger and he can sit behind Alex Smith and learn.
Yeah, that was good. For me, I think there's 2 positions the Giants really need. We need a defensive end in the worst way. We need the fact that Giants are top 10 defense, top 10 in sacks without a legitimate edge rusher is pretty amazing. Just tells you how well Patrick Graham schemes to get to the quarterback, and Leonard Williams has had a huge year for us. I can't believe how well Leo's playing, but I guess when you're playing for that money, that gives you a lot of incentive. But we could also use a number 1 wide receiver. I mean, we could use a Jamar Chase without a doubt, a Devontae Smith, one of those guys. I know a lot of Giants fans like Rashad Bateman because he's 6'4" out of Minnesota. But I think that to give Daniel Jones a number 1 receiver outside of Slayton with Shep in the slot, I think you have something there. And I think that with the offensive line progression, Saquon Barkley hopefully coming back and being able to stay healthy, having a number 1 wide receiver that can really stretch the field just makes that offense extremely dangerous. So to me, again, I plan on picking 22nd myself.
We're going to fight you for it.
But I'm going to actually throw something else in here. Speaking of that, I've had guys tell me, and I don't know what you guys get on your page, but I've had guys tell me, and they're Giants fans. It's not just other fans, not Eagle fans, Cowboy fans. They say it too. But people tell me, why you're trying to win the division? You're going to go 6-10 win the division. You're going to pick 22nd. That's stupid. You're not going to get a top 5 pick. Me personally, we're not getting a top 5 pick anyway. We've won too many games. The Jets, the Jags, there's a bunch of teams that are going to be getting quarterbacks. So to me, there's not that big of a difference between 9th and 21st. And honestly, we've seen superstar wide receivers come out in the second round. We've seen superstars not go in the top 5. They're all over the draft. You just have to find them. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on that? And when people, I don't know, like I said, I don't know if people tell you that. But like LB, if somebody says to you, it's stupid for the Eagles to win the division, you're going to go 6-10 and pick 21st. What do you have to say to that?
I say that we need to win a division. You got to win a division if you're the Philadelphia Eagles for one reason only: to get Carson Wentz playoff exposure. He got to be able to produce something in the playoffs. He's never won a playoff game, and he's been knocked out his first series in the playoff game. He got to get the playoff exposure. So I think you got a lot of veteran guys with pride. You just don't want to waste their time on the roster. Get those dudes in the playoffs and see if they can get hot. That's for the number. That's number one. And then it's just not in my blood to tank. If it's winnable, you go get it. That's just how I feel.
Law Nation, what do you say to that?
I mean, everything that you have to look at it is just like the Steelers, and I hate using the Steelers as the example. Last year, they had every reason to lose every game they could, but the coach kept fighting. The last time they had a losing season was 2003. Let that sink in. At one of the games, he stood at the end of the tunnel. He looked everybody in their faces, and he was looking like this. I'm looking for somebody to give up. And I think that they still, in this particular draft for the 2020 season, they still got a good wide receiver, Chase Claypool, for them. And they utilized, I guess, got rid of their first round draft pick to pick up a Minka Fitzpatrick. I mean, yeah, Minka, right? So my thing is, you try to fight every game. You try to win every game because that builds camaraderie, that builds experience, that builds, culture. I love the culture aspect of we got to win every game. And lo and behold, I know it's COVID and they're barely scraping off wins or what have you, but they're 11-0 for this year, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the type of attitude. The Cowboys, I know a lot of people from Cowboys land say, let's tank, let's lose that all the way out. Let's tank for Trevor Lawrence. But nobody knows what Trevor Lawrence is going to do, especially behind this offensive line, right? Especially behind Mike McCarthy calling crazy plays on 4th and 10 on our side of the field. So there's so many things that can go wrong. You try to win everything and try to win every game you can possibly have.
Yeah, Louie. I just talking to Louie a couple of times. He's been on here watching some of his live streams. He's very much like me, very fiery. I like that. Louie, I think I know the answer, but what do you say to those people that say, "Well, Washington's going to win the division at 6-10. You're going to pick 21st. Why the hell would you want to do that? Who's out the division? Pick 5th."
You already knew. You already know what I'm gonna say. You already know. But I get it all the time too, just like you do. Get fans. All we gotta do is get a home playoff game and lose in the first round. Right. So what? First of all, I've been telling them this for years. Once you get everybody in the dance, they take your tickets and they shut their door, all hell breaks loose. Everybody's got a chance. Whether you're the 6th seed or in this case the 7th seed, or you're the 1 seed, it doesn't matter. Because every time, the last 2 times at least, that the team with a losing record that shouldn't get in the playoffs, win their division, and shouldn't get a home playoff game gets in. Beastquake game with the Seahawks beating the Saints. And Ron Rivera did it back in 2013 with the Panthers beating the Cardinals. Like, you can get in and you can do damage. So
you get a home game. You could do damage at home any given Sunday.
Yeah, and well, this year is going to mean a lot less because there won't be fans in the stands. But still, I don't give a shit. Home or away, I just want in. But what I continue to tell them is that you cannot replicate postseason experience.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Terry McLaurin, Chase Young, Montez Sweat, all of these guys that you love, that you want to be around for many years to come. You can't replicate postseason experience, win or go home. You can't replicate that. No practice reps, no talking about it, no watching it on TV. You can only get it by playing. And I don't understand. If you don't understand it, then you have a loser mentality. If you think tanking is better than getting playoff, I don't give a shit if it's 6-10, or if it's 7-9, if it's 5-11, or if it's 10-5, it's 10-6. If you get in the postseason, that's invaluable experience. Okay, and I want all my young guys to get some of that. Get you some, so that next year you saying, "Hey, we got to get back there again. We got to feel that again. And then next time we got to take advantage when we get there." You need them to feel that. And that's why for me, it's win at all costs. Find a way to get it done and we put ourselves in this position to do it. And I hope we find a way to get to the finish line.
See, it gets me with Giants fans for a couple of reasons. Number one, we've been losing for so long. And like you said, the playoff experience is invaluable. Even if we do get blown out, you learn from it. You don't get that anywhere else. Okay? Number two, you want to build a winning culture. Why would you sit there and say it's better to lose when you have a chance to win the division? Okay, the game between us last year, if we want to say we probably should have lost, I understand that. We were playing for nothing. But this is the playoffs. Number two, I don't play the lottery. And getting a lottery ticket, you probably don't have a good chance to win. But you can't win if you don't have a damn ticket.
Right.
The ticket, you got to win. And especially with the Giants, the last 2 damn Super Bowls we won, we weren't the best team. People were saying we're going to get blown out by Tampa in 2007. The Giants, we were 7-7 in 2011. All right, we were down 14-0 to the Bills in 2007. Could have been done with the year right there. They fought back. They ended up winning that game. They went on to win the Super Bowl against an 18-0 Patriots team. We have no business. Why even play the Super Bowl? The Patriots are 18-0. Giants got no chance. Chris Berman. That's why they play the games. Just get me there and give me a chance. I don't give a damn. We lose 38-3. I want playoff football back here, and I want the players to have a taste of the playoff football.
Right.
Even win, lose, or draw. Well, you can't draw in the playoffs, but win or lose, again, it's all experience. And that, to me, says a lot going forward into the next year that you've got that. So like you said, Louie, when you get back there, you know what to do.
It felt good. It felt good. Well, it feels good saying we've been to the playoffs 3 straight years. And one resulting in a Super Bowl win. Trying to make it 4 if we could get some, continuity towards the end of the year. It feels good saying that. So playoffs is all that matter.
Yeah, it is.
And you know what's crazy is our coach came in and the first thing he said is, I want to change the culture. How else do you go about changing the culture but then winning? I don't understand how people don't understand that, because you can come in and have the best message to the players, but if you're not getting results, they start to tune you out after a while. You have to produce in this league. It's a Janet Jackson league. I talk about it all the time. What have you done for me lately? Ooh, yeah. If you ain't winning, they don't care. Just like Doug Peterson. Just won a Super Bowl a couple years ago. They don't give a shit in Philadelphia. Carson Wentz, a couple of years ago, looked like the damn MVP of the league before he got his leg messed up. And I heard Philly people on the radio station after like 3 weeks of football talking about bench him. It's crazy. It's a Janet Jackson league, man. You got to win football games. Bottom line league.
Yep, there's no doubt about that. And that's the whole thing, man. You talk about culture. Everybody's like, oh, the Giants traded OBJ because of culture. We got rid of this guy because of culture. Nothing builds culture like winning. Winning builds culture. I don't give a damn about the players. Winning builds culture.
That's deodorant. That's deodorant.
Winning is everything. Winning is everything. So we get these super chats. I got one more question. Let you guys go. This has been amazing. Again, guys, we've got almost 1,100 people in here. So once again, thank you all for watching. Really, really do appreciate it. Again, the links to all 3 of these channels are in the description. Before you head out, make sure you go in there, hit those links, subscribe to these fine content creators, and make sure you ring the bell so you know when they go live. Even if you ring my bell and YouTube only gives you 5%, I know whatever they're doing. YouTube's crazy. But regardless, subscribe to these guys and check them out because they do a great job. 69, thank you for the super chat. The Giants are better. Thank the Eagles, Cowboys, and Redskins. Well, Washington football team. With an injured Saquon, you love to see it. Well, they've all been beat up. Injured Saquon's nothing. Dallas has lost their quarterback. Washington's lost their quarterback. I don't know. Philly lost their offensive line before the season even started. So we've all had major injuries. It's just something that happened around.
No excuses, though. The division is still winnable for everybody.
Absolutely. Ryan, thank you for the super chat. Ryan, your question is my final question. I'm going to start with Louie because he felt disrespected. He's in first place. Time first. Who wins the division, Louie?
You really gonna ask? You really gonna ask me that, man?
I'm gonna ask you that.
Come on, man. We gonna win the division. Honestly, I like our schedule.
What's your schedule?
So we have the Steelers this week coming up. I'm not gonna argue with you. We got the 49ers after that.
Loss.
We got the Seahawks after that.
Body bag.
We got the Panthers, and then we got the Eagles.
Y'all gonna lose to us. Y'all want one more game.
I think we can win 3 out of the final 5. Personally, I think we can beat San Francisco. I think we can beat the Panthers, and I think we can beat the Eagles. So if 7 gonna win the division, for sure. I honestly think that 6 is probably going to get it done, but 7, you get to 7, and the division's yours. So we got a realistic shot at getting to 7. I think we'll be able to get to the finish line first.
All right, LB, who wins this division?
The Eagles. Listen, it might sound crazy. We might look the worst, but we're still there though. Listen, it's nothing that's going to make me not say us right now with it being this close.
Oh man,
listen. We are not going to just lose out. It's impossible. It's impossible. It ain't gonna happen. You got to think about it like this: the last 2 games are division opponents. The Dallas Cowboys and the Redskins, very winnable games. They're in our division, so I guess you could guess why they're winnable. I think we can get Arizona. That's a tough order. I don't think we're gonna get Aaron this week. And I think we could get Taysom Hill if he's still in there. If Taysom Hill's still in there, I think we could get him.
That team you watched on Monday, that same team you watched on Monday, you think you're gonna beat anybody that you just said on your schedule? I do. I absolutely do. Listen, so you telling me we're gonna lose out? I don't see how the hell you gonna win scoring. What did you score? 9? You got? Oh yeah, you had the Hail Mary. You had the Hail Mary.
Are you telling me we're gonna lose out?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm telling you. You're going.
What do you want to do? Do you want to have to wear one of my hats for like a month on your show?
Wow.
No. I won't say you're gonna lose out. You won't win more than 4 games. I'll take any bet you want. 4 games. No. You got 2 NFC East games. You got 2 NFC East games. I can't do that. I can't do that. Because I can't account for Dallas. If we were just the only NFC East game you had left, I take the bet. I can't account for Dallas.
Okay, how about we beat y'all? How about I'm telling you we're gonna beat y'all? We're gonna beat the Redskins.
Oh, I take a bet. I told you we were gonna beat y'all week 1. So I think I'm gonna beat you in week 17.
You did. We're gonna
give it.
Because I think it's going to come down to that. I think it's going to be a good one. We're going to have to discuss the terms of this bet.
Okay, sounds good. There is a stipulation, though.
What?
Alex Smith has to be at quarterback. If Dwayne Haskins is
playing, what is all this? What is all of this?
Because, again, that matters. It matters. You can't act like it doesn't.
If Carson Wentz get benched by the time that comes, the bet's still on for me.
That's you.
I'm taking the with the rookie.
Bless your heart. Okay? Right. I know my team. I'm not going to bet on Dwayne Haskins. I'm not going to do that.
Alex Smith ain't getting benched unless he get hurt.
I didn't say he was going to get benched. I said if he's not playing. So you know what I'm implying. I'm not going to say. I'm not putting that in the atmosphere.
Because that's not happening.
I'm not putting that in the atmosphere. So I'm implying. You know what I'm implying.
Don't imply that.
If Alex Smith is playing, we're going to beat you. Yeah.
The Eagles need to go ahead and win this division, man. These dudes ain't even sure of themselves. We need to go ahead and get our mind right and take what's ours. He ain't even sure of himself. We need to take what's ours.
Your schedule is so brutal.
It's brutal.
You can just go ahead and give it up, bro. You got the worst schedule of anybody left.
I think just to wrap it up on my question, I think we still gonna win in division.
I said I did say this. Joey shakes my chin. I think I said this to Philly 500 too. I said if you lose it to the Giants, you might not win another game the rest of the year. I did say that. You might beat Dallas, so I don't know what Dallas is.
Yeah, exactly. I can't account for Dallas.
Your schedule is off. I mean, it is so brutal, man. That is a rough schedule. But you know, one thing I'll say about Philadelphia, there's a game in there that they have no business winning. Somehow they're gonna. That always scares me about them.
Yeah. Like the San Francisco game this year. Like they weren't supposed to win that game, but
it was a backup quarterback. We damn sure was supposed to win that game. We better win that game.
No, Travis Fulgham went nuts, and you didn't even know who he was at that point.
That wasn't Travis Fulgham's best game. He had 1 touchdown.
It was the only touchdown. It was your biggest touchdown.
One touchdown.
It was your biggest touchdown of the season. He went nuts in other games. He went nuts in the Pittsburgh game. He had big games. That touchdown pass that Carson Wentz threw to him down the sideline, that changed your season in the moment. That catch right there changed your season in the moment. Okay. You were about to lose to a backup quarterback.
I'm here taking advice from a 4-17. We're at the bottom, Eagles Nation. We are officially at the bottom.
You are at the bottom where you belong. Where you belong.
Law Nation, who won in the division?
Oh my God, man! This is the even year, right? This is the even year. Jason Garrett been winning divisions every even year, right? Now y'all got a situation where if McCoy plays all the way out, then I might have to pull that back. I hate to say the G-Mans win this division, but the Washington schedule towards the back end is tricky. And my Cowboys, I just don't think that with our right tackle that we got Terrence Steele out there who can't bust out of a wet paper bag and can't block nothing in his life. And we got Ezekiel Elliott playing basketball with the football. I'm just going to have to say this, man. It's up for grabs if the Cowboys find a way to rally against the Ravens. If the Cowboys figure out a way to beat the Bengals, that's who we have next out of that. We don't have nobody to play outside of the 49ers in the what's his name? The Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles. And I believe the Philadelphia Eagles is going to be at our house, right? But I'm still going to give it up to the G, man. Y'all going to win it. What y'all want, a cookie?
All right, hey, I'll take the debate championship real quick, and then I'll give my thoughts, and then we'll let you guys go. L1L says, who thinks Dougie's letting Wentz stay in so he gets injured again? I don't think so. I think Doug Wentz figures he's got the best chance to win with Carson Wentz. Brendan McCloskey, thank you for the super chat. He says, I still remember Bad Dog's live reaction to Daniel Jones' funniest video ever. Yeah, I was not happy that day. So I'm going to say this. It's coming down to Washington and Washington and New York. Reason being, defense wins. Both of our defenses are pretty damn good. Obviously, Daniel Jones, huge question mark. Daniel Jones misses an extended period of time. I'm not going to lie. I'd have to give the edge to Washington. If Daniel Jones misses the game in Seattle and plays the rest of the season at 100%, we're going to win this division because we have the tiebreaker against Washington, and that's why I think we have the advantage. But our schedule's not easy either. We got Baltimore. We got Arizona, we got Seattle. We finished with Dallas. That could be our saving grace, believe it or not.
That's the reason I don't like y'all, is because you used up all your NFC East get out of jail free cards, man. You only got one left.
One left. But,
I actually like Dallas's schedule. I just don't trust them.
No.
Right. Now if we have Garrett Gilbert and maybe something else happens with they finally utilizing the split back situation with Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard, but that was a lot of ifs, right?
Yeah, a lot of ifs. Look,
I don't think Dalton played bad last game. I just think he was coached poorly. I don't think he played bad.
This is the thing.
He didn't.
Some of your best assets are going to go to waste because think about Mike McCarthy in Green Bay. When did they ever feature a running game? Ever in Green Bay?
Right.
So that's one of the biggest knocks on him is that he doesn't marry the run game with the pass game, and his running game has always lacked behind his pass game. One of your biggest assets is Ezekiel Elliott, and we see what Tony Pollard can be, and he's not going to utilize them the way that he should.
The Cardinals are beatable.
And in the year that they won the Super Bowl with Green Bay, I looked it up, and they was like ranked 31st in defense. How is that even possible?
Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers. MVP season.
I will say this. I think some of these teams that we're playing now are beatable. Like the Ravens, they're human now. Like I feel like the Giants could be – I feel like the Giants will be in all these games. Like I said, as long as – I don't know what McCoy's going to do. All I know with the Giants going into Seattle, Giants better pressure Russell Wilson. He's got hit a lot this year. The Giants lead the NFL quarterback hits, and Russell's turned it over a little bit, but – if we have any chance, it's going to be a short field. It's tough. And maybe Seattle has to fly across the country as well in a short week, but it's rough. But Arizona looking beatable. Baltimore looking beatable. Dallas, obviously. I mean, everybody in this division looks beatable no matter who the hell you're playing. Right. But, hey, guys, I just want to say again real quick, anybody in here, one last time, you haven't subscribed to these three gentlemen, please make sure you do. The links to all their channels are in the description. Hey, hit that like for me. That helps out the stream. Like I said, hey, what the hell? Take a shot at me too. What the hell? Hit that subscribe for me as well. Guys, this was awesome. I knew this was going to be a lot of fun. We did this back in July, and it was a lot of fun. And I'm so happy that you guys took the time to get together and do this tonight because, we're 11 games into the season, and we are separated by one game in a really, really bad but really fun division.
Yeah.
And, listen, I said this the last time, and I'll say it again. It's just ironic that all three of your names start with L's because that's all I wish you for the rest of But any last words there? Words?
No, man, I appreciate all three of you guys, man. I watched all three of you guys and I hope everybody else making sure they sub up to y'all, man. Real
appreciate it.
Hey, I really appreciate the opportunity to bless the platform, man. And I want to say that again, because I didn't do this at the beginning, but I cover all 32 teams. Obviously, I'm a massive Washington fan, so the vast majority of what I do is Washington content, but I also cover all 32 teams. So check me out on the Louie T Network, Louie T Network podcast also. And also you can check me out on the Overtime Show. I do a live stream after every single primetime game. So check me out. Break down the draft as well. We're going to get into that here shortly. Normally I would already be into it, but I got a division on the line.
I know, right? Well, what do you guys say?
Well, Louie T, man, we definitely gonna have to collab on that draft talk, man.
Yeah,
I'll be reaching out to you. We got some things up our sleeves, man, with some former players. So I would love to bring you on to go over some of those things, man.
That would be great. I would love it.
Yeah. And everybody, man, that's watching, man, please subscribe to all of our channels, man. This not easy. A lot of people think it is, but it's not, man. Pulling up stats, talking about players. And remember, we don't have no control of the game. We only got our emotions and our thoughts and what we can see from the game. We can't change anything, but we like to give you guys our thoughts and our opinions about it. And that's just all I have to say. And let me hit this right quick again.
This is Sparta!
Let's go, Cowboy Nation. Let's go. Hit me up.
Karan, thanks for super chat. Really says Law Nation looks like God Sham God. That one I have not heard.
Who?
God Sham God.
The basketball. He was a college basketball.
The dude. Oh, the Sham God. The move. Yeah, that's what the move is named after.
Yeah, he played at Providence. He was a hell of a point guard.
I remember the name, but I don't remember him making a big splash. But again, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Really do appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your night, and as always, let's go Giants. It's Bad Diggity Dizzle for Law Nation, Louie T, and Lord Brunson. We are gone.